On November 26, 1930, a news story was published on the front page of the Canadian newspaper The Morden Daily Journal with the headline, "Village of the Dead." This news sent a wave of fear across Canada because in northern Canada, an entire tribe had mysteriously disappeared overnight without leaving a single trace. Welcome once again, viewers, to a video on my channel. In a very remote region of northern Canada lies Anjikuni Lake. On the shores of this lake, there was a small settlement where a tribe known as the Eskimos lived. The population of this settlement was around 100 to 150 people who survived mainly by fishing in the lake. This is a part of northern Canada where not thousands but millions of square kilometers of land are inhabited by only a few thousand people. The main reason for this is the region's extremely harsh and freezing climate. Besides fishing, hunting animals in the surrounding areas of Anjikuni Lake was also common, and many hunters would frequently visit this region. It was a bitterly cold day in November 1930 when a hunter named Joe LaBelle arrived in the area for hunting. He became so absorbed in hunting that he did not realize when darkness fell. He decided to spend the night, as he often did, near the Eskimo settlement by Anjikuni Lake because the people of this tribe were well known for their hospitality toward outsiders. Joe LaBelle packed his belongings and began walking toward the settlement. It was a moonlit night, yet an unusual silence filled the surroundings. No humans were visible, and not even the sound of animals could be heard. The only sound he could hear was that of his own footsteps. Joe had visited this place before, so he knew that as one approached the settlement, the barking of dogs was usually heard, since the tribe kept many dogs. But that night, even near the settlement, there was only emptiness and silence. Sensing something strange, Joe quickened his pace, assuming that the villagers might be asleep or temporarily away. From a distance, he could see several tents with smoke rising from them, as if fires were still burning inside. However, even after getting closer, he heard no voices. When Joe LaBelle finally entered the settlement, he was stunned by what he saw. There were no people and no animals anywhere. Even more disturbing was the fact that smoke was still rising from several homes, as if people had been there just moments earlier. He entered one tent, but it was empty. The same was true for all the others. Cooking pots were still on the stoves, but the food inside had burned, suggesting that someone had placed it there to cook but never returned to eat it. Women's sewing work was still lying around, with needles threaded, as if everything had been abandoned suddenly. It appeared as though the villagers had left without warning, abandoning everything. As Joe searched further, he discovered that the tribe's dogs were still tied with ropes, but they had died of starvation. No. Strangely, food was present in front of them, yet there was no human left to feed them. In one place, he noticed a freshly dug grave, which appeared to have been made not long ago. All of this left Joe LaBelle terrified and deeply disturbed. The people of this region always took their dogs with them whenever they traveled, yet here everything had been left behind: dogs, clothes, food, and even burning fires. Unable to endure the scene any longer, Joe immediately rushed to the nearest telegraph office and contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, describing everything he had witnessed. When the police arrived at the settlement, Joe LaBelle's account proved to be completely true. At first, police suspected that the villagers might have been killed in an attack, but there were no bloodstains, no signs of struggle, and nothing appeared disturbed. During the investigation, a shocking discovery was made. The entire settlement was covered in snow, yet there were no footprints at all, except for Joe LaBelle's own. The lake was completely frozen, and the villagers' boats were parked on land, as fishing was not done during this season. If the villagers had crossed the lake or been thrown into it, the ice would have been cracked or broken somewhere, but it was completely intact. Investigators concluded that the people had disappeared several days before Joe arrived, because dogs do not die of starvation within just 1 or 2 days. The smoke rising from the homes also indicated that the settlement had not been abandoned long ago. After months of searching with no answers, the police officially closed the case, labeling it unsolved. 50 years later, in 1984, writers Roger Bauer and Nigel Blundell published an article linking the incident to aliens. They claimed that locals had reported seeing strange flying objects of various shapes hovering over the lake and heading toward the settlement. However, they provided no solid evidence, and as a result, this theory was largely rejected. Today, nearly 100 years have passed since the incident, yet no one knows what truly happened to the people of Anjikuni Lake or where they went. The disappearance of the Eskimo tribe remains an unsolved mystery to this day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and share and leave your valuable comments below. See you in the next amazing video.